So, like Joseph Osei, former first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, he says that for me, the most critical thing now is that in the end, the NPP should have some consensus on the way forward. What's the way forward he's talking about? The critical issue, if you ask me why we lost, what we should do to win, but we'll use the report to build the party. And Gloria won't tell me if he's interested in knowing it now, but he's only interested in amendment of the Constitution to give room for an enlarged electoral college to elect the leaders.
Well, I believe the NPP as a political party has enough experience, men and expertise within their fold to decide as a political strategy, maybe in the short term, what to do with that report. I think the NDC too, when the Professor Kwesi Botwe's report came, was also not made public immediately. Let me put it that way. It came in bits of leaks and what have you, which were never really. So I don't think it's out of place for the NPP. I believe that they would have their reasons, and I would not want to conjecture what the reasons are, except to say that at the end of the day, the margin by which the elections were lost will not be lost on anyone. Whether you're a Cadbury member of the NPP, you're a sympathizer, or whatever position you find yourself, that margin will not be lost. I heard Honorable Seni take us back to 1996, when that margin, in terms of the ratio, that was the last time they went, for lack of a better word, that low. But you see, in 2000, the NPP won the election. After coming from that low point, they really marshaled the forces and beat the NDC with a very, interesting margin. Let me put it that way. So I believe that with the experience and the kind of persons they have, they would have a reason for not. But if those that have made the recommendations, they know the recommendations they made. If they do not see the recommendations being implemented or the recommendations being jettisoned, then the apathy will further deepen.
But they need to carry the people along. And so the people must be aware of these problems and the recommendations.
They may have their strategy for carrying the people along. Maybe we are expecting to say that let's publish the report. They may decide to say they have a committee, 9-member committee headed by Senior David.
That's constitution amendments.
Yes, but maybe from what I'm hearing, that may be what they want to focus on now and build the grassroots, because we have all heard that the allegation is that a lot of people did not go and vote because they felt that the political party structure did not consider their interest either in selecting the running mate, the presidential, the flag bearer, or members of parliament. So if the party has received the report, they may decide to put the report into thematic areas and say that between now and the next 3 months, let's prioritize, like you said, Samson, that they would have to elect their flag bearer sooner than they did. So that may be the priority.
Maybe they are going to even amend that provision.
That is what I'm saying.
And say they should wait until the year of election.
They may decide to say that let's prioritize, because you see, the decision to establish the Constitutional Committee first was taken at the National Council. The National Council is made up of the flag bearer, who now is the leader of the party. I want to think.
In the NPP, in the NPP, the general secretary.
Oh, okay.
The chairman.
The chairman. Okay. Right. I thought it was okay. Yeah. So they have all those that matter in the party, in that council, and we don't see anything that suggests that that decision was not taken by the council. Yeah. So they may have put their issues, for lack of a better word, in those thematic areas and decided to take it one by one. And then they may, at the end of the day, like I said, if they do not implement the recommendations, it will show when it matters most. Because the people who have made the recommendations, I read Professor, or is it Dr. Amakon, saying that Amakumba, that if, maybe I'm paraphrasing, the recommendations are not implemented, he would even suggest a breakaway party.
Well, he says they are forming a party.
You see, and this is somebody who, when I started hearing his name, it was said, die in the wool NPP person. And
he even contested the chairman.
National chairman, yes.
Yeah, but he lost abysmally, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so there are people who, despite the misgivings, despite the seeming apathy, would have their, like we say, their umbilical cord tied so much to the party that once they feel that their voices are heard, there is inclusion. When Honorable Fuseni was talking about how he has diagnosed the problem of the NPP, you could see that the central point was the seeming hijacking of the party by some cabal, whether it is true or it is not true. But at the end of the day, it is as if a larger people did not feel their voices heard. So if the committee and the subsequent committees that will be formed will at least let those larger people feel that we will hear you. Whether we will take what you say or not is another thing, but we will at least hear you. It will be a step in the right direction.
All right.
At the end of the day, as a democracy, if we have our opposition parties very strong, it will build the democracy.
And you are welcome to bring proposals.
Anyway.